chapel on Sunday. We all come to pray, but we're back for warriors, keeping the whispers away. In suits and in skirts, we're the rebels you say, talking about life and dreaming of a different day. On the back row we stay, in the back we don't sway, just let the sermon flow. We're on the back row.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode. I am joined, could get only one of the sisters, but that's all I need. That's all really I can handle most of the time. It's Molly the Ash Ashton. Welcome to this Articles of News episode.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Looking forward to chatting some sort of light stuff as part of our discussion. A few really horrible, terrible, heavy things as we get into the news. I appreciate that you could take a quick break from being a 1950s tennis instructor and be able to enjoy being able to record this. You have to see the YouTube video. Please be kind and subscribe. Is it a sweater?
Yeah, it's just a little like cardigan sweatshirt.
Yeah,
but it does feel very tennis instructor-ish.
Yeah, from the past. It's a retro tennis sort of thing. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Aren't you in Arizona where like putting clothes on is sort of burdensome in the summertime?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah, it's cold in my house though, so I have to wear the long sleeves.
I was talking with someone when I was recently traveling, and they were from Arizona, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're a certain breed of people." Because even when it's like 118 degrees outside, you guys still manage to go outside. But they also reflected how it's one of the most difficult ways to dress, because if you're going outside for any moment of time, you have to be fairly light. But the second that you go in, if you're not prepared with something long sleeved, you will be too cold.
Yeah. Our poor kids, it's freezing in their schools, and our high school is like separate buildings. So I have to walk from building to building, but they have to wear sweatshirts because it's so cold. So I feel bad for them, but that's how it is.
Yeah, your poor kids. I feel so bad for them.
I
have to wear sweatshirts? Are you kidding? I feel terrible.
A rough life, but you should feel bad because they start school on Thursday. So
are you kidding?
No, very
Why?
early.
Why would they do that? Why is Arizona like this? Why can't you just be on the same time zone and school schedule as the rest of the country?
Tell me about it. It's annoying. I don't know. I think it's just so hot here that we start summer like May 20th, 22nd. And after like 7 weeks, they're done. It's just, the pool is too hot. It's too hot outside to do anything. So they figure they might as well start school. And then we have a really long fall break, and they've now added an extra day on a Thanksgiving break, and we have a long spring break. And so it allows a lot of breaks when the weather's really nice. So I guess it's fine.
We're really fans of lifelong learning, so we don't want to have summer breaks or winter breaks. Yeah.
No,
interesting.
Never.
I mean, I don't hate that idea. I think, when they talk about, I forget the term off the top of my head, but when you go away for the summer and then you come back, you've lost a certain amount of like momentum. What is that called? Do you know what that's called off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, you don't retain as much as well. Yeah, I don't know the term for it, but it's exactly true. I mean, they forget so much back when we were kids, I think we had like a 3-month summer is what it seemed like.
Yeah, that's why we're so dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speak for yourself, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so we just got back from Lake Powell on Saturday, and today we were doing the back to school shopping for school supplies.
Did you, because you've got your youngest is what now?
She's a sophomore.
Okay. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's almost like, hey, just give me money, Mom. I don't want to go with you to the store to go shopping age.
Oh, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, but she's so funny because she works a lot for us. And so she's like, I'm going to buy my own school supplies. So she was putting things in the cart. She's like, I'll pay for this myself, which she didn't have to. My son was with me and I paid for his. And she's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But she also bought a couple of food items that she goes, I'm going to pay for these with my own money and I'm going to put my name on them when we get home. I'm like, okay, it works for me. I love it. She's independent and wants her own things. So.
Yeah, kick her out. Tell her to get her own place. Listen, I was willing to pay for you to have a place to stay, but you want to be all independent? Go. What was the food? What was the food item that she didn't want to share? Because I did that crap from the second I got a paper route when I was 12, because there were 5 kids in the house. And if you were home when Mom went to the grocery store, you could see all the stuff that she bought.
Yeah.
You could like hide it in the pantry so that you could be the only one to get to it. But then as soon as I could buy my own food, I was buying my own food. What'd you get?
Yep. It's funny. It's called oodles. They're like mac and cheese, but high protein mac and cheese
Okay.
boxes. So
Yeah.
there's like 14 grams of protein in a serving, and we are hitting the ground hard with protein, pushing protein and getting more healthy at our house. So she's tracking it, and she's like, I already have some at home, but she wanted these other two flavors, and she's like, I'm buying them myself, putting my name on them. I'm like,
There you
okay.
go.
And the thing is, like, I wouldn't eat them. It's only her brother that might eat them, and I don't know, he probably wouldn't. I don't know, but
Oh,
whatever.
brothers will do that. If he's hungry and he wants to eat it,
It's
doesn't
true.
matter that she put her name on it. He'll be like, "Listen, I'm going to eat that. Mom, deal with this. She's put her
That's
name and I ate this thing."
well,
I
and
got it.
actually, to that point, she had some pizza in a Ziploc bag in the fridge a couple of weeks ago and had her name on it. And the pizza got mostly eaten with her name on it. And she pulls it out and she's like, Did you not see my name? And he's
Yep.
like, Well, I didn't really know what that meant.
Yeah. Heads up, that's life. And when you go to college, it gets worse because people have
Oh,
just
yeah.
blatant disregard for that.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
what are you
That's
going to
right.
do about it?
That's right. Hey, I've been wanting to ask you, how was Sunset Boulevard?
It was incredible. I had the opportunity to go to New York. I hadn't really talked about that yet. My wife, I went to her. I said, "Hey, I've been to New York not for a long time. I would love to go. What do you think about going with me?" She said, "What are we going to do when we go there?" And I said, "I'm going to see as many shows as I possibly can." And she said, "I love you dearly. Maybe this would be a great trip for you to go by yourself." And I said, "Yeah, I don't hate that. Does that mean that the money that I would spend on your ticket, I can add to the money that I would spend on my ticket and get better tickets for the shows?" And she
Yeah.
said, "If I don't know about it, that sure can be what it is." And so I did that. So I went solo to New York for like 4 nights, 3 days, technically like 5 nights because I'd red-eyed, but
Yeah.
uh this show, Sunset Boulevard itself, great. I think the original telling of it, I don't want to get too nerdy because this is a church news podcast, not a that thing. But Nicole Scherzinger, the
Mhm.
Pussycat Dolls, she was phenomenal. Funnier than I thought she was going to be, too.
Really?
Yeah. And
Cool.
so talented. Worth
Yeah.
worth going to see. You've only got, as of this recording, 6 more days to be able to see her. And the show closes and it moves on and all that stuff. But she was phenomenally deserving of the Tony. So great.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I can't believe your wife doesn't love to go see the shows, but I mean, to
She,
each their own.
she
I
so
would
she likes
never.
a show. She likes a show, and she'll come back to New York with me, and we'll go see the Statue of Liberty,
Yeah,
and we'll go Ellis Island, and we'll go to Ground Zero, and we'll do a lot of the like touristy things, and then she'll probably see a show,
right.
maybe
Okay.
two, depending on how long we're there. But I literally was either reconnecting with old friends, and that's not fun because my
Right.
wife wasn't there when we were friends before. So it's like, oh, what are you guys laughing about? Oh, well, you got to have this context and you got to know this. So it was a lot of that, and just constantly seeing shows. And it was good to kind of just have a break where I went, I'm going to wake up today and do exactly what I want to do with no regard for what anyone else might want to do. I don't get to
I
do that
love it.
very often.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. No, it's fantastic. I love
Yeah.
a good solo trip.
So you know what I did?
What?
One of the mornings, woke up and I was like, you know what I would really like for breakfast? Soft serve ice cream cone from Carvel. So I just frickin' large, massive ice cream cone. Immediately regretted it as soon as I ate it, but that was my
Yeah.
breakfast one day.
Hey, that works. And now you know what it did to you, so
Yeah.
never again.
Oh no, probably again.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah, and then one other thing too, because I got duped. This is hilarious. You've heard of Magnolia in New York?
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
knows it's a place, right?
Yeah, we love that.
And
Yep.
they have the pudding,
Yep.
the blueberry crumble pudding or banana pudding. That's what it is.
Banana pudding. Yeah, that's what they're most famous for. Yep.
And I was like, that sounds like a breakfast. So one of the other mornings
Oh,
for breakfast, I was just wandering around, and then I was like, I didn't eat. I didn't get up early enough to get the in the hotel breakfast buffet. So I need to eat something. So I was like, Magnolia, they're a bakery. They probably got something. And then it's like, pudding. Pudding is like a breakfast thing. Pudding is not a breakfast thing, especially
oh no.
that particular. It was so sweet,
Yeah.
so very sweet that most of the time I was redlining insulin most of the time I was there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know,
Oh, that's funny. It's good
but it was
stuff.
great. It was a fun trip. Glad to be back.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you are back. I'm glad you had a great time. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Anything? So you've been in Lake Powell. Anything? I thought it was of note that the Crumble Cookies and the former Mormon Benson Boone did a little collab there.
Yeah, that was fun.
We
It
don't
was
let our crumble Mormon roots show very often, though. I sort of would like for the Intermountain West a pioneer cookie. I mean, I feel like there's
oh,
something like there's something like that.
there could be something there for sure. Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know. The Benson Boone was a fun one. It was, and we ended up running it for 2 weeks because it was doing so well, which normally doesn't happen. And it definitely did very well. It brought a lot of sales and it brought a lot of craziness. We had people coming into our stores like taking their pants down because I think there's a part of his song where you take your pants off or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyway, kids doing crazy things, playing, bringing their guitars in and singing and jumping up on counters. It was a fun time. It was
Yeah,
good.
it seemed like it was a lot of work to get that mustache on the top of the cookie in honor of Benson Boone, but that was
Yeah,
pretty cool. It's a
yeah,
lot
you
of
like that.
mustaches.
Oh, that's awesome. No, not that. But
Oh, that
anyway,
wasn't.
it was
Oh, I
fun.
must have
It was a,
misunderstood.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't quite a mustache, but
Gross.
it was fun. But yeah, so we went to Lake Powell after that, and my husband might have wrecked our friend's boat while we were there, but that's
Oh
fine.
no!
Yeah.
Obviously on accident.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And luckily no one was hurt. My son had been surfing and he had just fallen, thankfully, because then the boat hit a rock. The propeller underneath hit a rock that was like 8 inches below the water. We'd
Sure.
been on this part of the lake for 6 days and had never seen this.
Uh-huh.
And the water must have gone down just enough that it got the bottom of our prop and it stopped the boat in its tracks. And we
Oof.
were down a boat at that point. No more ski boat for the rest of the trip. So it's going to be an expensive Lake Powell trip, but we had a good time anyway. It was fun.
Yeah, but what's money?
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
money?
it's hard. You always hear of, I've had so many friends, oh, we wrecked our boat at Lake Powell. We have had many years of not ever wrecking a boat. So this was our first thing. And it was a bummer. It was
Sure.
annoying. It's hard that he was in our friend's boat. Our friend brought the ski boat, not us. And he was teaching his friend's son how to drive the boat. And that's a whole thing. I think he was distracted because he was teaching him anyway. So it's okay though. We still had a great time and memories we can look back
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And even the bad memory or like not fun memory can still be a memory that you look back on where it's like, and remember we couldn't ski, so we had to play more games or whatever the
Right.
thing was. We had to go cliff jumping, and that was great.
Exactly.
Yeah, similar. So when I was in California, a deer ran into the side of my car.
Oh,
And so I didn't hit it, like it wasn't didn't get jumped out in the middle of the road and then I wasn't paying attention. I
right.
was
It ran into you.
driving and it ran into the side of my car and made it so that my car door couldn't open.
Oh,
Not my favorite thing.
great.
For that was the first morning of the 7-day trip. I just was like, come on, of all the
Oh.
things.
So did you go in and out of the passenger door?
No, I forced it so that then every time I came in or out of the driver's side door, it
Mhm.
would make a pop like a shot, like a gunshot.
Yeah, yeah.
And my brothers, because it was a big family vacation, anytime that I opened the door, they'd all yell, "Get down!" No matter what kind of like where we were, it didn't
Oh,
matter. City,
that's awesome.
town, sightseeing thing, just going fishing. They would, as soon as I opened the door, get down
Yeah, yeah.
every single time without
I
fail.
love it. That's hilarious.
So,
Oh man.
so that.
Oh,
So that is kind of that. And with the summer waning down, then no more vacations for you with the kids. You just have to go with your husband only. Sorry, kids. They're not going to not go. They're just not
yeah,
bringing you.
exactly. That's right.
Should we take a break and come back? You have lovingly selected some articles of news. We've got a bunch. I threw in a couple others that we'll get to as they kind of come around. We'll take a break. We'll come back and get to those articles of news in the second half of Articles of News. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. articlesofnews.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. Should have time for quite a bit of news, which is good because we don't have a lot of I guess hard-hitting stories, big stories as far as that goes. Which isn't to downplay the impact or severity of some of these stories, but we're going to try and get through a bunch in the time that we have here. And I'm going to lead us off by just talking how quickly I can about this. The 117th stake in Peru. Mm-hmm. They have now created the 117th stake in Peru. That's it. That's all this news story is. And I just think that it's exciting to think church is continuing to grow. Now we have 117 stakes in the country of Peru. And now missionaries can fly direct out of Salt Lake on Delta down to Peru. They got the thing. Yep. I guarantee you that the church had everything to do with a nonstop flight from Salt Lake City, Utah to Lima, Peru. Congratulations, Delta. Thank you for working with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A win-win for the 117th stake now created in Peru and for people to go pick up their missionaries.
Yeah, it's funny because on our Delta, we have a Delta website since my husband works for Delta. People are like, why did they just add this flight from Salt Lake to Peru? I mean, they're all just like, this is weird because typically we just went to Peru. We flew from LA or Atlanta and it's funny, but you're right. It has to do a lot to do with the church, I'm sure.
Positive of it.
Yep. Anyway, super exciting.
Yeah, that's it. That is the depth of that story. I just thought, 117. How about that?
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. It's awesome. The growth down there is incredible.
I don't know how many stakes there are in Arizona. Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I have no idea, in fact.
Why don't you take us to the next story and I'm going to find out how many stakes are in Arizona.
Okay, sounds good. So this story I thought was fantastic. It's about the saints in Papua New Guinea. And on Saturday, June 14th, they had 107 people baptized in the Bangoho River, reminiscent of the Book of Mormon's Waters of Mormon account. The following day, on June 15th, the Oro Papua New Guinea stake was organized, and hundreds of people gathered for it. Many watched from remote villages via the internet. And I just think that this was just fantastic. This is fascinating. I was actually supposed to go to Papua New Guinea on our cruise we were on back in January, but there was the unrest, civil unrest there. So I was really sad that I wasn't able to hit that country up. But this seems like the church, it says, has had a significant rise out of obscurity in that country, which is really awesome. Really cool.
Interesting number of stakes in Arizona of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Peru just made their 117th. Arizona, 118.
Dang, are you serious?
I am serious.
Okay, how funny.
So suck it, Peru.
That is crazy. I'm sure they'll pass us up in the next 2 months or something. You never know.
Sure.
And speaking of stakes, so in Papua New Guinea, they have gone from 2 stakes to 5 stakes in the last 12 months alone, which that seems like incredible growth for such a small, obscure place in this world. I think that's really awesome.
So some of that I've got to think, because it's been in the last couple of years where they had said, here in the States, in order to be a stake, there was a number, and internationally there was a different number, and I think internationally it was a bigger number, and we brought that number down, or vice versa, it used to be a smaller number and had to be brought. Anyway, some of that is probably statistics, but certainly also the other part of it is the growth of the church.
Yeah. Well, and they have a new temple that's going to be built there. So they said the nation's excitement over the temple that's coming has really helped to spread the growth as well. So really, really awesome news coming out of Papua New Guinea.
A fun, random, interesting fact that doesn't matter really, but I think is fascinating. So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, headquartered in the state of Utah right now, where I don't know how many stakes, though I would bet over 300 if I were a betting person. If you wanted to look that up, I could take that statistic. There was a time in our church's history where the brethren were like, maybe we should make the headquarters in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time of a lot of adversity for the church that they were like, hey, maybe we take this somewhere else. Let's do that. And ultimately ended up not being. But I always thought that was kind of an interesting thing. How many stakes in Utah?
639.
Geez, I was way off.
Way off. And in Salt Lake County alone, there are 181.
Okay.
Utah County 174. So
Yeah. So take that, Utah County.
yeah. Anyhow, but interesting. Very interesting.
Another one of these quick one-off stories. Saints in Luxembourg celebrate their first meeting house 60 years after the first branch in Luxembourg was formed. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in this small European landlocked country celebrated the first meeting house during an open house about a month ago now in June. Although the building, formerly a bank, was acquired by the church in 2018, no celebration or community outreach took place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This building does not just belong to the church, it belongs to all of you, said Michael Ulrich, the president of the Nancy France Steak. What a great name for a steak. Oh, hey, I'm the president of the Nancy France. Oh, hey, president of the Nancy France. And also in attendance, Elder McConkey, the mayor of the municipality of Strassen, Elodie Benson was there. Bunch of dignitaries to be able to celebrate that. So way to go, Luxembourg. You got the branch and now meeting house.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It said that the first branch was organized in the 1960s. The first official ward was in 2007. And prior to this new meeting house, Saints in Luxembourg have been meeting in hotels and other rented spaces.
Mhm.
It's really interesting to see like the difference between that Papua New Guinea story where it's just going crazy to Luxembourg, where it's been 60, 70 years almost, and they're just now getting their first meeting house. So, slow growth there, but the Saints are excited about this. And there's two congregations, one that offers services in French and English, and one is in Portuguese and Spanish. So they're really trying to support all of those members there in Luxembourg, which is really great.
Have you ever been Luxembourg?
Have not.
Nice.
Nope.
Well, I know where you're going this winter. You're about to find a deal that you could not pass up.
Probably.
You got the email, babe, she'll say to her husband, babe, guess where we're going?
Yep.
I have no idea. Luxembourg. Why? And then you're like, I mean, they got a meeting house and I wanna go check it out. We're gonna go see the new ward house. He's like, okay, perfect, great.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it right next to Germany? Is it Germany and France?
Well, it's landlocked. It's like within the country of other countries, isn't it? Or am I thinking of the one in Africa?
You're thinking of Africa, Lesotho.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
This one, I believe, it's landlocked because it's surrounded, I think, by France, Germany, maybe Switzerland. I don't know. I could be totally off, but it's definitely, I'll get there someday, I bet.
Well, you better.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
It is France. Looks like a little bit of Belgium and Germany.
Yes, Belgium. That's what I couldn't remember. Okay.
So,
my geography wasn't too terrible at that point.
No. You get a pass. You wouldn't become a citizen of the United States of America, but I mean, you could kind of point it out. Luxembourg, known for its high per capita GDP, it's one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It's also a major financial center, especially for private banking and investment management. It's also a founding member of the European Union and several key EU institutions. That is not something you would travel to Luxembourg for. Why would you travel to... I'm going to get you an excuse.
Please do, because there's 666,000 people there. Do you know their official language is Luxembourgish?
No.
Yeah. French and German as well, but Luxembourgish is their official language.
There's a tunnel network that encompasses a dungeon, a prison, an archaeological crypt. That's cool.
That is super cool. That would be right up my son's alley. So maybe we'll try to hit it up sometime.
Heart-pounding hikes and bike trails for simply relaxing in nature. Historic fortresses and lush landscapes along with cosmopolitan elegance. It feels like that's just a lot of adjectives.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Luxembourgian Saints.
Yeah.
In my heart of hearts, I want Luxembourgian to be like the chef from the Muppets. Like, what does it sound like? 40, virgin, 40, Luxembourgie. Like, that's what I want that language to sound like.
That's good. I like it. It's a good idea.
Tell me where we're going next. What are we talking about next?
I would love to talk about the church gifting Ethiopian Christians a new worship space in Utah. I think
Go
this is
on.
such a great story. So it says two of the church's storage warehouses in North Salt Lake have been transformed, one into a worship space and the other into a kitchen, restrooms, and a priest's apartment for the St. Mary's Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. And it said this project was made possible by contributions from the church and other local donors. It was dedicated on Saturday, June 28th. And prior to this, members of this Ethiopian church met for 9 years in a one-room building in Layton, Utah. So having this new facility for them is really just one of the most fantastic things. It says our previous church was so small that I would cry, but today if I cry because of happiness. And that was from the St. Mary's administrator. This is really, really an amazing thing for us, for the LDS Church to do. And I love that we do try to help, fellow saints in other religions and help them be able to worship how and who and where they may. And this was apparently spearheaded by Elder Rasband when he received a request several years ago by the Secretary General of the Council of the Interreligious Council of Ethiopia. And he was able to make this happen. So I think this was just a great thing for the LDS Church to do, and especially there in Salt Lake. And I love when we have those opportunities to help other religions in this way.
It's an interesting approach. I mean, the church, that is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is so prevalent here in Utah and does a tremendous amount with like the homeless shelter and, any sort of services as far as that goes. It is an interesting thing to consider where this is a church, a faith tradition that is different than what we do.
Right.
I don't know how different. I don't know the doctrinal principles, but I would assume it's got to be at least somewhat different. Otherwise, it would be a branch of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, right?
Yeah.
It is an interesting thing to note that they would do something like that. Not that, to help out, not to be able to, establish a building. And, hey, we'd love to do it and be able to establish the goodwill. But I can't imagine for a second, the cardinal of Salt Lake coming to the church and being like, hey, the Catholic Church could really use a new building here in Salt Lake. What do you think? Mormon people? You want to do this? Or like a Jewish synagogue? Maybe those are bigger. They have the funds, and maybe that's the difference. Maybe some level of leading out to refugees or to immigrants. Maybe it's symbolic in that way. But to echo what you said, I love that we're doing it. I don't care much why we're doing it, but when I look at like other instances where maybe we wouldn't help, I wonder what the difference is with the Ethiopian congregation there compared to, the Catholics could use a new roof on the Cathedral of the Madeleine in downtown Salt Lake. Come on, Mormons, float the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an interesting point you bring up. And I think, as this article referenced later on, it did talk about how, in addition to this new worship space, the Church of Jesus Christ is doing important interfaith work within Ethiopia. And they signed a memorandum back in 2024 of understanding in Addis Ababa that supports unity and community support. So it sounds like it's across, the globe in Ethiopia and here. There's a mutual respect and interfaith alliance, so to speak, that they have going on. But I do love what one volunteer said. She said, it's because we love God. As we look upward to worship, we're compelled to look outward to serve. We're excited to help others worship too, because it uplifts the whole community.
Yes.
I love that. I think that's so true, is that the more we are able to center our community on any sort of religious worship, we are uplifting our community and keeping good as much as possible within the communities.
Yeah. Are you telling me you would like good in your community? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, I do. I like my community to be good and to be happy and to have people working together for the good of everyone. I think it's
and Lori Vallow used to be in your stake, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
No, okay. Just
making
sure I got the same kind of thing. All right. Oh man, spoiler alert, big news. No one saw this coming. Next year in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, curriculum for Come Follow Me will be the Old Testament.
What?
Surprise, everyone. Surprise. Actually, I was surprised by part of this press release / big article that they tried to make it sound like it was something that would be unexpected. The unexpected part of it is that you can still get the paper manual.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I like using the paper
I
manual.
do too.
I teach primary and like I keep it, I have it with me, I can mark it up. I love
You can
it.
hit a
So
kid with it, and it's not technically you striking a kid. I get it.
yeah, totally, for sure. No. But it is interesting that, and I'm glad that they're still releasing it in paper form.
Yeah.
It's
But
good.
Old Testament, all right.
Yeah.
I
Mm,
mean, Old Testament's not my favorite.
yeah. Me either. Me either, let's be honest. But it is what it is. We've got to do it. We've got to study it for a year and it's
But do
important.
we? But do we have to do it? I
I
mean,
don't know.
here's the thing that I would love, and I, you know, maybe it's a thing that we'll do. People that would be argumentative against this would be like, listen, you don't. It's not your favorite because you don't know about it, because you haven't
Yeah.
studied it like I have. That's the pretentiousness that I always get from people who are like, I just love water fasting for days because it just makes me feel so great. It's like you're not eating. That's what you're doing. You're not eating. Those people that you wouldn't know anything about.
No, I wouldn't
No.
know
Okay.
anything
Okay. Good.
about that.
Yeah.
No.
But the people that, get on that a little bit and are like, oh, I just love it. I know it's difficult for some, but I just would love an option. Like, here's a class that I would really love to be taught for a year, like be a better person. So we have Book of Mormon, then we do Doctrine and Covenants, then we do Old and New Testament, and then it's like be a better person. So what's going to be the better person year? We're going to talk about like fundamentally from a principle based approach of living the word of wisdom and of being good stewards of money and of being a community member and ministering to those in need. And, another one of the lessons is going to be mourning with those that are mourning.
Yeah.
Another one is going to be like public outreach. Another one, and we just have these very, again, just like the Come Follow Me lessons, they are very scripturally based and we
Hmm.
can walk them out. I'm not saying that we come up with, you know, just these things to do, but we ground them in the scriptures and we call it the Be a Better Saint, Better Saints.
I like that. I think that would
We
be a
won't do it. We
great
won't do it.
curriculum. I think that's a fantastic idea.
We won't do it.
I know. But maybe. You
But
never know.
Old Testament next year.
Yep.
Surprise.
Yep.
Surprise. Where would you like to take us next?
Well, I'm kind of loving so many of these humanitarian articles that you sent to me. And one was the church helping with the humanitarian needs in the Marshall Islands, the Marshall Islands being a small grouping of islands in the South Pacific. And it said that they're so secluded, they often have cyclones, rising sea levels, and limited fresh water, which make food sources and it just makes it hard. And so the church has stepped in and helps to bring relief to a lot of those challenges. Specifically, they've donated biodegradable menstrual products for all girls grades 6 and above. They've supplied vital sports equipment for physical education classes across the country. They have purchased a vehicle to deliver relief supplies for the Red Cross in the Marshall Islands. It just sounds like they are really doing a lot to just help overall with the entire islands there. It says what sets the church apart is their genuine commitment to listening, truly listening to our local voices and responding to our real expressed needs without imposing outside agendas.
Hmm.
And I think that's totally evident in what they're providing the menstrual supplies, providing the sporting equipment. It's like this is what they really need. They don't necessarily need a ton of, wheat or I don't know what else, but this is what they need. And so they have provided those things that are helping the Marshall Islands with those opportunities, which is fantastic.
Do you feel like there, in the past, something as you were speaking made me think about this, and I don't think that this is true, but I would be curious if you have seen it walked out. Do you feel like the church in the past would do these humanitarian efforts as sneaky is not the word I'm looking for, but like, hey, we would love to bless these people and also come to the church. And we sort of, open hand on one side with the kind of bringing us. Do you feel like we did that? Do you feel like we have always kind of done these kind of things, or like that maybe we haven't ever really done a great job about these things? I have my theory, but I'd be curious before I taint your theory with mine.
I don't know. So are you asking, is there an ulterior motive for
Well, no,
them?
I'm just saying, do you, because that I want to take it at the face of what you just talked about with it, and that we're just like, these are people who need help. We're a church who can help. So we're stepping in, listening to what people need, and helping wherever it be, where in the past we may have been like, listen, you need a Bible, we'll get you a Bible, but a soccer ball, get your own soccer ball.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I do believe we've made some changes, and I do believe we're literally just trying to help where help is needed and serve where that is needed, and to help with what is needed to benefit the community. One thing that was said in this article, it said so many times non-government organizations venture into these areas and build something, then leave, only to discover a year or two later the project was abandoned. He said the church has given us a travel and accommodation budget to travel to the outer island atolls to ensure the longevity of our project. So I really think it really is just to bring good to those people and help to the people.
and I think if there was a difference that I could pinpoint that the church has done over the last, let's say, 30 years, I think that we used to just take care of our own and try it and do it within organizations of our own.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was during President Hinckley, or maybe I'm, blinded to when it started occurring. Certainly within the last 10 years after everything came out with like the money stuff and we had to get fined and all of that, the church has been far more transparent and it seems far more engaged in being able to bring goodwill and humanitarian aid to folks. But it seems like in the past, we created organizations and then we had to do the organizations, and the hope and point of the organization was to bring people into the gospel. I think that point is still there, but I don't think that we are limiting it so much as we used to. Like
Agreed.
people can be healthy. We got them soccer balls. They remember that the church got them soccer balls. They started feeling healthy in their life. They got exercise. The exercise was the thing they needed. And then they had that touch point with the church. Whereas in the past, I think we would have been like, we invited you to a place where we were making food and you had to come into the church to get it. And we wanted to share a message with you and see this is what the gospel can be. I think we've opened up how the truth can touch people in a much bigger way.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it.
Another big story. I don't want to be too, over the top with it, but the Nauvoo pageant.
Oh, yeah.
Huge opening night. How many? An estimated 2,000 people. Now that doesn't sound like too many people, but if you ever been to Nauvoo and you ever been to where the pageant is, that is a gob of people. That is so many people. Yeah, it'd be like. Let me think about how I would equate it. So do you go in a ward house or a stake center?
I'm in a ward house.
Okay, so it'd be like if you opened up the whole thing. And then tried to fit 2,000 people in there.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
awesome.
It's outside and there's, these kind of things like that. So it's less confined as far as that goes, but it's not a big space.
Really?
I mean, not really. The all of Nauvoo, obviously a big space. The grounds are a big space, but it's, if you were trying to watch something on the stage in your typical church building, 500 people get a really great view and can hear what's going on, and the other 1,500 are like, "Is that Joseph?
Right?
Is that Hiram? I lost it. Who is that?" 2,000 people in the town of Nauvoo for the opening night of the pageant. That was Tuesday, July 8th. The Nauvoo pageant retells the story of the saints from 1839 to 1846. It is held on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights, and it's only held for, I believe, like one more week or so. Yep, just about one more week. Local residents go to a special locals night on Wednesday, July 23rd. Before the shows, if you've never been, visitors can join a country fair. Nope, not county, country. They can play old-fashioned games like stickball, tug-of-war, relay races, sack races, hoop rolling, horseshoes, log sawing, and stilt walking. There are puppet shows, a children's maypole, and other games. Plus, you can go to Joseph's Tomb in downtown Nauvoo, a thing I've yet to do, but next time I'm there, you can go and check that out. It is the time when Nauvoo is electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie, woog.
That's awesome.
You've been, yes?
No, never been. No.
What?
No, it's definitely on the list. And, it's tricky because our school starts so early and the pageant doesn't actually open till like beginning to mid-July. And so we're already winding down our summer. And okay, but I've got to try to make that a priority in the next year or two.
Here's the deal. Go to your kids and say, kids, you can go to school today or we can go to Nauvoo.
Yeah, they would definitely pick Nauvoo.
Yeah, let them pick. And here's the deal. Remember, you only have 18 summers and then...
It's true.
And then, they never talk to you again. Life is basically over. So feel the guilt of 18 summers and providing them every experience that needs to be had in those 18
Yeah.
summers.
Great idea. I'm going to put it on the calendar for next summer. I think that's a fantastic idea. I
You
would love to.
should. I mean, after all, I'm coming down to Mesa to see you and the Easter pageant. It could be the
Yep.
year of pageants. Have you ever been to Kirtland before?
No,
Have you ever been to like the Hill Cumorah and the okay.
none. I've never
But
been to any of the church history sites.
none?
None. No. I know it's weird because we travel a lot, but we
Yes.
can't leave the country, I guess. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So we will make that.
I mean,
It's on our list.
I worry that people listening to this will feel like I genuinely am shaming you. I'm not. I am just very surprised
Yeah.
with your like, hey, we weren't going to go anywhere today, but then we decided to go hike the Mayan
Inca
ruins.
Trail.
Like, yeah, the Inca Trail that you've never been like, yeah, you know, we haven't seen a church history site. Let's go. Like that, it just surprises me given the nature of who
I
you
know.
are like that.
No, it's actually as surprising as I think about it. So it's definitely on the list, though.
You can do a bus and then you can see all of them. They do them in chronological order. There's lots
Yeah.
of things like that. And then you don't have to worry about like where you're staying and what you're eating. And then people can tell you the significance about it. Not everyone loves that kind of a trip. Some
Yeah.
people like the self-guided. There's lots of bloggers that have done the self-guided church history tour and add in other things. Because like in Ohio, you can do Kirtland one day and then you can do Cedar Point, the amusement park,
For
and
sure.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the next day. So it's not like we're on a church trip. It can
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
kind of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am
We'll make
surprised.
it happen.
What will I learn next from Molly the Ash Ashton? That's what I don't know.
As in, what would I like to talk about next? Can we
No,
talk?
as
Oh.
in I just am constantly surprised.
Shocked.
Just constantly surprised. And now I would like to know what you'd like to talk about next.
Well, I would like to talk about Tanner Martin, who just passed away from colon cancer next, if that's okay. So
Yeah. Now I
Tanner,
got to ask you before you get into this. I need you to give context to who he is. But have
Yep.
you been following this?
yes.
Okay.
And I've been following them since I saw them first in People magazine, like maybe 9 months or a year ago.
Okay.
So Tanner and Shay Martin are a young 30-year-old couple, LDS couple who live in Utah. And they had a little article in People magazine last year because he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer about 5 years ago. And even in the midst of his diagnosis, they decided they wanted to have a baby together. And it was just a little snippet about how their faith and their belief in eternal families, they just felt really compelled to have a baby. And so over the last year or so, it's been their journey towards getting pregnant. She was pregnant through IVF. They had their baby Amy Lou back in, I guess, end of April, maybe beginning of May, if I can't remember the exact date.
Mhm.
And his cancer was getting really, really bad shortly, right around the time the baby was born.
Oof.
And he really just wanted to have at least one Father's Day. He was able to be there to celebrate Father's Day. But then he did pass away on June 25th, I believe, 25th or 26th. And it was interesting because I have been following them. Well, oh, here's the other thing. When the baby was born, I wasn't following them super closely since the People magazine article, but I saw on Facebook a lady in our stake posted and said, "This is my first great grandchild, and this is my granddaughter, Shay Martin."
Get out.
Yeah. So then I'm like, oh, it's the LeSueur's granddaughter, and this is their great granddaughter. And so I felt a little bit more like now I really want to follow them and kind of see how this plays out. But he was just full of light, full of energy, full of happiness. I mean, if you look at any of their videos that they posted, he's funny, quirky. He, inappropriate at times with his comments and whatnot, but it was clear that Tanner and Shay loved each other very much. And Tanner was just the happiest as can be to be a father and to be there for the birth of the baby. He ended up blessing her in the hospital room the day after she was born. It was really, really heartbreaking to kind of see that last couple of weeks. And I remember, in fact, it was while we were on our family reunion, my sisters and I all had been following them. And I pulled up Instagram and it was a video from Tanner. And it said, "If you're watching this video, it means I passed away." And he had made this 5-minute video to share just his joy and his memories and just encouraging everyone to live life to the very fullest and to live life with joy and being a good person and all of those things. And anyway, really, really touching story. And I still follow Shay now. I was just watching today, she was doing a Q&A about, things that have been hard since he passed away. People have asked her kind of, some personal questions that she's willing to answer about, like, did you mourn his passing before he had actually passed? And she talks a lot about how they had a death doula who kind of walked them through this process of dying and what it was going to be like afterwards. And anyway, just a really sweet, tender story. And it was interesting. They did a GoFundMe. So he has been really unable to work the last several years. She's been working as a family therapist, and he put together a GoFundMe where he wanted it posted after he died, where he asked for some very specific things, like, he would need $12,000 for therapy and childcare and all these things for the first couple of years of the baby's life. And anyway, just kind of really walked through. He wanted to help prepare and support his wife and daughter after he passed, and their goal was like $200,000. I think it ended up hitting like $1 million, and they're giving a lot of it to a scholarship in his name and some cancer funds that they've worked really hand in hand with. So anyway, yes, I've been following this, and I don't know them personally, but I feel very connected to this story, and have been really touched and just, it's been interesting. And they've gracefully walked through death. And I think that, something we don't get to do very often.
$823,000 raised.
Oh, okay.
$750,000 was their goal. And I want to share just a couple things. One, I would love to hear this. It says that as guests arrived for the funeral, there was a compilation of If You Could Hie to Kolob.
Yeah.
And the score from Star Wars. Apparently, Tanner, huge Star Wars fan. I would love to hear what that sounds like musically, to have the combination of If You Could Hie to Kolob and, John Williams' musical score from Star Wars. That's phenomenal. So send me the link. I haven't spent any time Google searching that, but I'm betting that's just awesome. And that people came, to this very sad thing and, are dressed like
in Star Wars,
Darth Vader and, Princess Leia. It was a bold move of that one lady to wear the brass bra, Princess Leia, girl, but it was what Tanner would have wanted. And then the last thing from his video, I just think that it's interesting. He says a couple things. One that's sort of funny. He says, "I've had a heck of a life," and I like that, sort of cementing his not only his the end of his life, but also that it's a heck of a life. And then the last words he said, "Be kind to each other. Always assume good intent. I've done my best. I'll have to depend on the Savior's grace to do the rest." And I think that's, it's a unique blessing in a horrible way to be able to know that your passing is coming that quick.
Yeah.
And, I don't want it. That's not what I'm saying, but there is something to, this goes this way fairly quick. And Molly, I'd like to tell you this, that I feel about you, sister, I'd like to tell you this, brother, this, kids, we're doing this for the last time because Dad won't be here likely next month. Like, just, it's a gift, but terrible.
It is. It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Let me see if there was any other kind of quickie that I wanted to get to. Otherwise, we've got a couple fairly heavy stories to take us out. Let's do this one. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is making large milk donations to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, with a truck delivering 2,160 cases of 2% milk. Yes, excuse me. In the spirit of the church, they are donating milk, M-E-L-K, the way we all in Utah say it. We're donating milk. I think that it is interesting to note that we are donating 2% milk. It would have been a great opportunity to teach tithing if we would have done 10%.
10%. Yeah.
Opportunity missed, church. You should have called me on this one. But the organization that's receiving it is Harvesting in Mansfield Food Bank, or as they use the abbreviation, HIM. And with the church, all the focus is on hear him, look to him, donate milk to him is the latest hashtag. Donate milk to him for the folks down in Dallas-Fort Worth. Just another great thing. We're partnering with a great organization. They do amazing things. Helps to be able to provide such a great source of calcium, vitamin D, potassium. Many kids and families in need, even the basic staples like milk and critical nutrients it provides are missing. So the church said, "What do you need? Milk. Got it. Here's some milk."
Yep. Yeah, they said that milk is the most frequently requested and often the most difficult to acquire item for food banks. So so it's great that we could do that. It also said that Dallas-Fort Worth ranks third among U.S. metro areas and the highest number of people facing hunger. I thought that was interesting.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I don't know, and that was an interesting fact. I wouldn't have thought that for sure.
I mean, Dallas-Fort Worth is one of the biggest cities.
Right,
So
right.
that stands to reason. It'd be like, an LA, you wouldn't be surprised necessarily about LA or New York City because it's such a big city, but I don't know why
Yeah,
why it faces so much hunger.
yeah. I'm
Hmm.
not sure, but
Okay. But you can donate milk to him. Make sure you use the hashtag donate milk to him and make sure you spell it MELK like we do.
of course. Yes,
Uh,
yes.
I'm trying to look real. Dallas Fort Worth faces. Okay, well, here's some interesting things. The Dallas
Yeah.
Fort Worth area, the third highest number of people experiencing hunger in the nation, as we mentioned. They have a high food insecurity rate compared to other states, surpassing California, Texas as a whole, more
Yeah.
people hungry. It rose from 15.7% up from 14.3%. Food insecurity disproportionately affects Black and Hispanic communities in the DFW area. Rising costs of essentials, food and housing are a major driver. There are a significant amount of people disproportionate to other places in the country that have lower incomes in that part of Texas, and food deserts, lack of access to stores with healthy and affordable food options is another
Yeah.
part of it. The more you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Now the question remains, because we've got two stories that we are going to do and then wrap this thing out. Which one would you like to do first? One is Mormon adjacent. The other one is kind of Mormon. It's at least sort of Mormon. Which
Yeah.
one would you like to do? We'll do both of them.
Are you talking about the FLDS or
Yeah,
Gary
because that's a
Coleman?
Mormon adjacent.
Yeah.
The Mormon adjacent. Gary Coleman, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Molly the Ash Ashton.
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay, let's talk about Gary Coleman because I think this is actually quite interesting. He, passed away about 15 years ago. He had fallen in his home in Santa Quinn, Utah, and his ex-wife at the time, Shannon Price, they were still living together, but they were not married. She was the one who called it in, and he ended up dying a few days later from the injuries from his fall. So it was ruled accidental, but she was recently contacted by a new series on A&E called Lie Detector: Truth or Deception, and she took the lie detector test. And in that lie detector test, she was asked, "Did you ever strike Gary during your relationship?" And she said no, and that yielded inconclusive results. She was also asked, "Did you intentionally decide to withhold help to Gary when he fell?" Again, she answered no, which was also inconclusive. Apparently, there have been questions brought up by Gary's friends and family over the years, wondering if it really was an accident or did she have something to do with it. And that's part of why she's participating in this show.
Mhm.
So finally, the third question was, did you physically cause Gary's fall on that day? To which she said no. And the finding was that it was deception. There was deception indicated. So basically, the lie detector examiner said that she failed the test, talking about his fall. He said, "There's two things I know for sure. One, you were not completely honest with me on the polygraph section. And two, I know that with 100% certainty is that there's more to this story that hasn't been told."
Hmm.
So, no conclusive answers as far as that goes, but it does sound like there is some deception. It sounds like she said when she called 911, she was saying there was blood everywhere. She's like, "I can't deal with this. I'm going to vomit. It's awful." And anyhow, so it does seem like possibly she didn't get to him quickly enough. She said when she heard him fall, she thought dishes were falling. So maybe she spent too much time just thinking that was it before she went down to help him. Who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah, it is a fascinating story because to me, knowing that there are so many questions still around it, if I were Shannon Price or anyone, and someone came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like to open this back up again so that this continues to be a thing in your life," I
Yeah.
would say, no, I do not
Right.
want to talk about this anymore. Of course, people are going to become more suspicious of this just because we don't have the exact answer. We don't know exactly what happened. And
Yeah.
there's suspicion because that's how people are. I, she also, I think, couldn't help herself. Based on
Yeah.
what I remember of the original story, she definitely was, I don't know a politically correct way to say it, so I'm not going to say what I'm thinking in my mind, but liked the attention
For
that would
sure.
be garnered of marrying Gary Coleman and these other things. And so I wonder if it's one of these situations where looking at it, she goes, I should not say anything. I should
Hmm.
not agree to do this,
But
but
I
I
can't
also
help
just
it.
can't help it.
Right.
I need to be in the spotlight. People will talk about me if I do this. I can do it. And yeah, I hate that our society encourages things like that. I
Right.
watch it. I'll watch the series on A&E. I'll watch it.
Yep, me too. And
But
there was a documentary done about Gary last year called Gary, which I didn't know about, and I will definitely actually be watching that. I'm so curious now to see that.
yeah, wanted to escape the busyness of Hollywood, and so came to Utah and
Yep.
wanted to settle down, and then didn't.
Yep.
Well, I guess he did ultimately settle
For a
down.
little bit, yeah.
Not to be irreverent, but last story. Here we go. So this is Mormon adjacent. Why are you guys talking about this? I think it's important to know. A couple of kids missing.
Mhm.
13-year-old Alan Lorand Fisher and 15-year-old Rochelle Lorray Fisher suspected of being kidnapped for human sacrifices. Yes, 2025, you heard that correctly. Kidnapped for human sacrifices as part of an apocalyptic religious prophecy. Their mother, Elizabeth Roundy, fears that the abduction is connected to a 2022 revelation from Warren Jeffs. Oh, in prison, Warren Jeffs? Yes. Oh, leading the FLDS Church still, Warren Jeffs? Yes, that one. Oh, the convicted child sex predator, founder of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? That Warren Jeffs? Yes. He's serving a life sentence. He's ordered his followers reportedly to consecrate and return their children to the church by any means necessary so that they may be made pure before the end times in 2025.
Yeah. It's amazing that there's people still following him and following these revelations that he's had, being that he is a sex offender and he is in prison. I am fascinated by that. It sounds like the mother believes maybe her 18-year-old daughter or maybe 19-year-old daughter might have something to do with it. She left, disappeared in the last couple of years, but she believes she's with her ex-husband and that she was helping to abduct these children so that they can be sacrificed or translated or whatever it may be.
Now, the thing that I think is sort of interesting about this is, in 2025 and of like a sound mind, I go, how are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this a thing that occurs? And then I start to think about like the way that we share stories. Now, hear me very clearly that I am not equating the two of these, but I am comparing the two of these. But we hear stories of like the prophet Joseph Smith in, Liberty Jail and sharing these various things that are going on. And you go, we respect and revere Joseph Smith at his time in Liberty Jail or Carthage Jail and the things that he said, and we would have, gone through hell for Joseph, right? And that's who he was, and whatever he would have asked, I think that the saints of the time would have done the same thing. And that's all that these people are doing now. But what
That's
I but the very harsh difference that strikes me is, Warren Jeff's a predator, a pedophile, all the things that was, and that was why he's in jail. But to some people, they look at the scenario and go, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith was convicted for what he was convicted of. That was illegal. He had broken the law, was telling people to do things that whatever, and people would do it without any sort of regard as to whether or not it was legal or not. And that's the same thing that's here. I just think that it's so important to recognize, like, where the mantle comes from, that God is involved in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that there are so many important things that keep them distinct,
Mhm.
but I can see a path to why someone be like, yeah, I better go kidnap my siblings from the
Yeah.
dirty world
Right.
and
Right.
make them pure, because I don't want them to be impure. It seems crazy to like have empathy and like see the path to that. But I think it's important to not just write it off as like, well, what a bunch of wackos. That'd
Yeah.
never happen. It's like we were those wackos in different
Yeah.
contexts.
No, it's really true. That's a really good point, and I totally see where you're coming from.
I just yeah, I hope that they and it's not the first. Those two are not the first, and there's more, and they're constantly investigating it, and it's
Yeah.
why did we decide to end on that one? Why did we
I don't
decide to end
know.
on that?
I don't know. That's terrible.
Was that on me? Did you do that?
Yeah. Well, I might have done that because I should have ended on Gary Coleman, but
I blame you.
yes, you can blame me. I'll take it. You're the official.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you go because I know you have a trip to Nauvoo that you've got to plan before the kids
Yes.
get back to school.
Yes.
So I'll let you go to that. Plus, I think your next tennis teachee is ready. You got to go swing the racket out on
Yep.
the courts.
Yep.
So let's see how you do here. We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you weren't well enough to attend this week, you'll be well enough next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty close. You always say attend, and we could say listen.
Listen.
Would be a little, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
Attend to the listening of. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
attend to the listening of. I would even accept that, and I accepted attend, so it's fine.
Okay.
But just know that Megan is laughing at the fact that you can't get this right. And then when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels. Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of the Cultural
of
Hall.
Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat. On the back row, we really gotta go on the Culture Hall show.